Hello, my name is Gustav, I'm the lead singer in Young Guns, and you are watching Dutch Scene. So we just started this European tour, and we've only played one show. We had one show and then we had a day off, which is kind of nice because you get to have a show, ease into the tour, you know. But the first show was absolutely fantastic. We had a really, really good time. I actually think that I'm hoping, and crossing my fingers and all my toes, that the rest of the shows are going to be as good as that one was, because that was one of my most enjoyable European shows that we've played as headliners. I mean, we're co-headlining this tour with LTA, and it's fantastic. We had a great one the other night, really sweaty, you know, played for an hour, which is a nice long amount of time. You can pick a bunch of songs from a catalogue, and the crowd was just fantastic. And yeah, the first show was great, and I have high hopes for the rest of the tour. Lower Than Lightness are really good friends of ours anyway. The UK is quite a small scene, so most of the bands tend to know each other, but you don't get to go out on tour with people that you're already good friends with that often. So it's really nice to be out. We're kind of back playing shows with them again. We were in Europe with them maybe 5 years ago, and I think, you know, we were probably playing to like 10 people a night. And that was still good fun, but it's really nice to have seen kind of both of our careers kind of evolve and progress, and to be playing great shows together is a really fun thing, actually. It's just great to, you know, walking along with your friends. You grew up together in a different country, you're walking along these European streets, having a good time, playing great shows. It feels really good. Well, I'm just amazed, really, that we're at a point in our career where we have 4 albums. I mean, that's mind-blowing to me, but the response has been really good. We wrote the album very much with the idea of like playing it live. You know, we kind of thought about how the songs were going to work in a live environment, and that's really paid off, because for me, they're the highlight of the set. It's always nice to play new material as opposed to songs that you have played for 6, 7, 8 years. And it feels like the crowd are really into it. The new material's going down well, and we're having a good time playing. And so I, you know, without kind of sounding too like new age and hippie-ish about it, I feel like we're in a really good spot at the moment. Things feel really good. I'm happy. We're having a good time. Songs are going over well. I couldn't really ask for much more. The recording process went quite quickly. We finished touring for the album before this one, perhaps in like September, October of 2015. Yeah. And then we were going to spend like maybe 4 months writing the album. You know, had a nice block of time carved out just to focus on writing. But then we ended up having the opportunity to work with a producer called David Bendeth, who we had spoken to in the past, but it never kind of worked out. But in order to work with him, we had to bring the recording date forward. So we ended up having to write the whole album in like 8 or 9 weeks, and we're like, oh my god, alright, we're gonna have to rush, you know. But it came together very organically. We recorded it in New Jersey, which he has a studio there. He's recorded a bunch of great albums there in the past, so there's a lot of history to the building. And it was fun. It was really nice to work with someone new who brought new ideas to the table, and he really challenged us to be better at our instruments and better performers than we'd been in the past. And from a vocal perspective, he really pushed very hard. You know, you do a day of recording all day and all evening, and he'd say, no, we haven't got anything. And you'd be like, oh. But what it means is that when you get that good take, you can really hear the difference in it, and I'm really proud of that. So it was an enjoyable experience. It was very challenging, but you know, you don't join a band to do things the easy way. So I think the proof is in the fact that we really enjoy playing the album. We're proud of it. That's a tough question in terms of what song do I like the most. I like different songs for different reasons. I think it's, for the most part, it's a pretty kind of straight up rock record, which is really fun because the last album was perhaps a little more experimental. But there are a couple of moments on it that were new for us. There's a song called Paradise. It's almost just entirely a vocal and a piano, which is not something that we've done before. And it's really nice because we're a rock band, everything's loud, you know, the kit is always going hard, all the guitars are loud, and every now and again it's really nice to be able to dial that back, kind of strip it down and just have a vocal, and you can really get the kind of emotion of the song. So I'm really proud of that from a selfish perspective, like as a vocal performance, that's the song I'm really proud of. But really the whole thing is just a really good snapshot of where we were at that point in time, and I like different songs for different reasons. There's a song called Paranoid, which is just a big kind of stompy, muscular kind of anthemic rock song. That's really good fun to play live. So. We basically all grew up together, me and the guys in the band, at least for maybe like 10 years, since we were in our kind of late teens or early 20s. And he was very much kind of an important founding part of the band. We used to rehearse at his house and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes things just change, that's the truth of the matter. He had a relationship with a woman in America, and he was finding it very difficult to balance the two, and I think we both, us and him, just reached a point where we were like, I think this is the best move for us and for you, and he agreed. So we're still good friends, still speak to him all the time, see him when we're over there, and actually after playing music for so long with one group of people, bringing someone new in, like we have Chris Camarada playing drums, and again it's just really nice because it freshens things up. We have a different person with a different opinion and a different experience and a different style. So suddenly your writing kind of takes a turn and feels different, and that's kind of refreshing and exciting again. So, I think actually it was a really, really positive thing for us as a band. It allowed us to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, okay, that chapter of the band is finished, this is a new beginning for the band, and that was really important for us. Well, I think the thing about, any creative pursuit, anything that you do that you have a passion for, you do the best job you can at that time, and as you grow and you change, your opinions change, your taste in music evolves, and what you thought was great at one point maybe you don't think is so great now. But the thing about writing music is that once you've written this song, you're writing it for yourself, but once it's written, the song then goes out and becomes kind of it's then owned by the people that like your band in a way, because what the song means to me isn't necessarily what the song means to somebody else. Music is such a personal thing, and so there are songs that I don't necessarily enjoy playing that much because I think that we're a better band than we were at that point. Some of our older material, a song like Crystal Clear, or most of the tracks off our first album, for example. But I still enjoy playing them because I see people in the crowd singing them, I see people with tattoos of those lyrics on their bodies, and I think that you have to respect that. You can't just be like, no, I don't like it, fuck it. Like, you have to understand that people enjoy that music, and I want to play that for them. I want it to be I want to give people what they want to hear, and so I'm not too cynical about it. I kind of understand that that's what it is, and if people want to hear those songs, then we'll play them. I mean, I've never written about any one specific thing. I kind of just write about what I'm feeling at that point in time, and I think the one thing I will say is that perhaps, we're not like a death metal band or anything like that, but some of our songs are kind of a little dark lyrically sometimes. That's a reflection of myself, I suppose. But what I would like people to take away from the band is overall kind of a message of positivity. I suppose what I would like people to think is that, believe me, if we can do it, anybody can do it, because there's no magic to being in a band. It's hard work, and you get better the more you do it, like anything else. And I would like, if anything, I like the idea that perhaps somewhere along the way we've inspired a few people to kind of go and find something that means a lot to them, and I like the idea that people could chase those dreams, because I think it's important to do something that you love. In terms of a festival, I'm really bad at organising things. It's really important to know that. I'm terrible at organising things. I can just about get myself out of bed on time sometimes. So I would never entrust myself with the responsibilities of organising a festival. If I did, however, I would have Metallica headline. And I'd probably have a bunch of bands that I loved growing up playing it. Bands like Tool, I would have At the Drive-In. I loved Billy Talent growing up. I was glad to tour with them last year. So I'd make it like 16-year-old version of me's dream lineup. I think that's probably the best thing that I would do. And then we'd be on there, of course. Being on tour is quite weird anyway. You have a lot of unusual experiences. I think the most surreal experience we ever had was probably, the first single that we ever released in the United States was a song called Bones, and it ended up going to #1 on the radio over there. And we found out that it had gone to #1 the day that we had a morning off and we were at the Grand Canyon. So we were standing there looking out over this kind of thing that I'd grown up seeing in magazines and on television and stuff. and we just found out that we had the #1 single in that country, and that was a kind of a really surreal moment. That's not, when I think back to it now, I'm still like, that was really fucking weird. Amazing, but weird. So that's a big one that always sticks out in my mind. But we've had plenty of amazing, unusual experiences, you know, playing festivals in Thailand or, you know, whatever. There's too many to count, really. We're very lucky. Well, I suppose, you know, it's difficult when you're a guy in a band because everything's been said and everything's been done, and it's hard to not sound super cliched, but I made a long series of mistakes in my life, and somehow all of those mistakes have led me to a place where I'm doing the only thing that I ever cared about doing. And when you come to one of our shows, you really are a part of something, and it makes a real difference to my life. So thank you for supporting our band. Please continue to do so. Check out our music online. Come see us at a show, and be well.